Well, hello my YouTube friend. Today it is my pleasure and my honor to present you a man, his craft, his art, whatever, because this is a man that I absolutely adore, and maybe you have seen it or him on my Instagram account. This is Mr. Tony Karlsson. So Tony Karlsson is a Swedish knife maker. He's actually a part-time knife maker. Most of his time he's restoring ancient furniture, so that's why he's doing also those beautiful boxes. Everything that you're gonna see is done either by him or other nice custom guy. This is done by a Russian that I don't remember the name, a Russian guy that does that in ivory, the ivory skull. This is a present for me. That's just incredible. So he does the boxes, and he's basically doing everything on a knife except the Damascus and some features that I'm going to talk about. So, as I said, a part-time knife maker, but he's done that for ages now, and he's absolutely a master of his craft. He's doing basically that kind of thing, a traditional and artistic knife for sure. He's very well respected in all the shows that I've been. All the makers are really respecting him because his work is just absolutely impeccable. So, you know me, my friend, I'm not really into artistic knives. This is really probably the first time that you're going to see me showcasing any kind of artistic knife. But the man is just fantastic. And when you look at that, you see that it's just like Mozart, you know, in music. He was doing like classical music. But at that time, this classical music was really almost rock and roll. And, you know, this traditional knife is almost rock and roll. Look at this beautiful grind. Look at this Damascus with the skull pattern. Just absolutely incredible. The double bolsters are also in that Damascus. This is called the Undertaker. I'm not going to talk about this one as much, but I wanted to present you the man and his usual work. So that's what you're going to get. Gold hardware, beautiful sculpted back spacer. Look at those liners. Beautifully anodized. The tolerance on his knives is just fantastic. Look at that. And the action is sublime. Look at how the thumb stud fits perfectly here in the shoulder. Boom. And he cut, specifically if he, on a skull, you know, that's a figure of skull. It's exactly the form of the skull in the thumb stud. That's just incredible. And look at the engraving that he does. Let me try to catch that. You see his name there? All the liners inside are polished, and you see here the reflection of his name on the polished liner. This is just a sublime work of art. So this is basically what the package that you're going to get if you are interested in Tony Knives. But Tony wanted to renew a little bit his style and make something new. So, you know, he said, oh, I want to try to do a flipper. Oh, I want to try this and this and that. And along the road, he came with, boom, this mastodont. This is, look at that. This was considered to be a big knife of his, you know, with this thickness. Now look at that. Just the comparison between those two. This is a humongous knife, like almost, it's 450 grams. This is a humongous knife. So he came with his first flipper, and he wanted to put a theme. So he, you know, he started first with the theme of the handle. So look at that. He decided to go with that kind of stone that he found, which is called the Picasso Marble. So Picasso Marble is a volcanic stone that you can find only in Utah. He found the pattern to be absolutely excellent because he reminded him the pattern of the meteorite. And he wanted also to add, of course, the meteorite, which he did. But not only on the bolster, he decided to go with the inlays also here of meteorite. So the theme is that you have here a volcanic rock, again, only found in Utah with this beautiful pattern. And I want to show you how the rock looks. This is the rock, the Picasso Marble, and this is the raw, you know, how the stone looks raw like that before it's working on it, you know. And he did this cut for the presentation with a kind of, you know, leather thing. This way you can display on this beautiful box, which is a tulip wood, you know. You can display the knife like that beautifully. And the name here is, the plate is also a meteorite. How beautiful is that? Just incredible. So now let's go and look at this knife because it's already 5 minutes and I want to present you this beautiful knife that he did. So the Earth meets the universe. This rock, this meteorite, is simply the oldest meteorite that ever existed on, known by mankind. This is called the Mona Lusta. It hit the surface of the planet Earth a million years ago. Before that, this rock lived for now 4.5 billion years in the universe. So that's simply the oldest meteorite known by mankind. How beautiful is that? You find it mainly, in north of Sweden. This is how we can get some. But you can buy it, but of course it's very, very scarce and very the scarcity is really, really, really important with this stone. So yeah, that's what he had in mind, to meet again the universe and the Earth, the volcanic, power with the power of the universe. This is just insane. We could leave it at that, and just that handle. I would go for that handle. Just that piece of art that you have in hand would suffice. But here we have not only a piece of art, we have a functional thing, which is a knife, and a mechanism also, which is the first flipper ever made by Tony Carson. So let's continue with the handle. Look at that. Look at the beautiful backspacer here that he did in Damascus steel. Now let's go with that beautiful back of the knife. You have, look at the layers that you have. The stone here. Here you have a copper in satin finish. Now look at that. You have all the liners here in orange peel finish. So that stone here. Satin copper, orange peel, Damascus steel here, and the same on the other side. Look how beautiful and well inserted all that is. Just absolute perfection. And I love long backspacer like that. I love those lines. Look at that, the line of the bolster that goes here, exactly following here the straight line with the top of the backspacer here and going back here to the other bolster. Just simple poetry. That on the back. Now look here. Look at the tolerance on this point that you have. I mean, I tried to put a piece of paper there. It doesn't even fit in. Doesn't even fit in. The tolerance is one of the tightest I've ever seen. Look at that. Just fantastic. Look at that. Look at this. Absolutely spot on. Beautiful. So yeah, I said a beautiful piece of art. Just that is enough. As I told you, we also have a knife. So let's go and see that blade. First of all, you saw the action. Let me try to give that to you. Boom! It fires like a rocket. Now let's go and see this blade, because the time is flying. Look at that. The grind is simply phenomenal. I love this flat, and I love the bevel here and the bevel here. Look at the recurve that you have here, just a fantastic. But have you ever seen a Damascus steel with a polish finish? Such a beautiful polish finish. Usually, it's a little bit dull when you have a Damascus steel. That's why I don't like Damascus steel. It's dull. And here, look at that. I mean, it's shining from everywhere. The finish, the polish that he did was just fantastic. And he cut the piece exactly where he wanted. This way you have here on the flat this kind of rainbow pattern, and here on the bevel the lines, like the waves on the bevel, raindrop on the satin. How beautiful is that? On the other side, the same. Look at the pattern, even better on this side. The pattern here on the flat and the lines and the waves on the bevel, sorry. Beautiful grind, absolutely a perfect work of art. Now look here, look at that. Everything follows perfectly. Look at that. Look at the cut on the blade. Here the cut on the blade too. Everything is just simply at the right place, simply perfectly done. So work of art here, a tool. You have here a beautiful blade. Look at this thickness here, just phenomenal. And the action. So you saw the action at the opening. Of course, you can expect, as always, to have the name of the maker written here. If I can, yeah. So you see Tony Carlson prototype here, and of course the reflection. This is orange peel here outside, and inside of course it's polished, because you see here the reflection on the liners here and there. So polished inside, orange peel here. Beautiful. Again, I told you, we have again a mechanism to look after now. Look at this engagement. Absolutely phenomenal, just fantastic. No stickness whatsoever. Look at that. Have you heard that? The detent is perfect. Again, that is a humongous blade, over 4 inch and thick as a brick. Look at that. I mean, that's more than enough. Listen, look at that. That's a beautiful, beautiful detent. And hear that? It fires. You want to light switch it? I'm going to light switch it. Boom. You want to push flip it? I'm going to push flip it. Absolutely. Do you hear that noise? Just phenomenal. And now look at this engagement. Again, perfect. Now look at that. That's his first flipper. How crazy is that, gentlemen? The first flipper he's ever did. And you know the best part? No, you don't know the best part. I'm gonna give it to you. This, because I'm overwhelmed. You know, I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm overwhelmed with that. This flipper is simply on bronze washers. Yes, you could expect to have for his first flipper to go and do the easy way and put some bearings. Not at all. He polished. I've seen the washer is just a crazy work. He polished them very well. So this is how you know that a maker that knows what he does can make a beautiful flipper with such great action only with bronze washers. And again, that is his first time ever doing a flipper. Truly, that's his prototype, first time ever. How insane is that? So, gentlemen, you have your own eyes. I'm not gonna, sell you some crazy stories or whatever. I'm rambling there, but you have your own eyes and you see the absolute perfection. I truly hope, and I think that he will do it. He called that the genticle. Genticle stands for gentleman and tactical. But it's not even close to be a tactical, because it's a humongous knife. It doesn't have a clip now. But who wants to put a clip on this knife? That would be just insane. But I know for a fact that he is thinking now of doing, like carbon fiber, titanium, probably it won't be as thick as this one, something more EDC friendly, and still will be really artistic. So, gentlemen, be ready to see in the foreseeable future, hopefully really soon, the work from Mr. Tony Carlsson. You following guys like another Swedish guy that is very good, Sebastian Never. This Tony Carlsson, it's, oh man, I don't know. When you look what he does on artistic knife, and you just imagine that he's going now to do something that would be more of a tactical knife, man, just again, be ready for the blast, because that's gonna be a blast. For me, it's an absolute honor to own this piece. This piece won't go anywhere. This piece will go to my son, will stay here in my collection, because it's unique for everything I've talked about. I mean, just the handle itself would suffice. Really, truly, I would have been happy with the handle itself. But then he went with this crazy mechanism, with this crazy grind, with the beautiful cut on the damask steel, with all those feature. I am absolutely overwhelmed, and since I'm not saying anything more than what I've already said, I'm gonna leave it at that. Just look at the contouring again before leaving here, the contouring on the bolster that you have, the contouring on the stone. Can you imagine the work to get this finish here, the work that you, where is my stone? The work that you need to get this finish here with that raw part. My friend, it was a pleasure, an absolute honor to make this video, and hopefully you will hear very soon from Tony Carlsson, and he will make hopefully knives that any one of you could get. That's what I can hope for you. I will catch you very soon for a more regular video of regular knives. It was a pleasure, my friend. Bye-bye.